Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me, and welcome to my little cottage by the sea. The focus of today's presentation is going to be the comp plan. But as over the last 3 days, some interesting things have happened, and all of a sudden I've got three special guests in addition to Gary Wood who will be joining us today. We've got Justin Davis, we've got Antoine, and we've got Angelica who will be joining us. And we all have very important things to say. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on my introduction, but there are a few things that I did want to say getting started. Over the last sort of, I guess, 40 years, I have been superficially involved in a number of direct marketing companies. And the main reason why I ever got involved in those companies or with those companies was because they had cutting edge products that I was interested in. But I was never really interested in promoting them. I remember like 45 years ago, the first company that I was involved with was called NSA, and they had water filters, and they morphed into something else. But I love the direct marketing industry because it has cutting edge products. But as I said, I've never seen a compensation plan that was skewed toward us, the people that are doing the actual work. And I watched a video recently of Justin's father, and this was a presentation, a keynote presentation that he was doing for Justin's previous company. And it really opened my eyes in a very sort of emotional way to, number one, what kind of people we're involved with here, and also what his motivations are. And Justin, just like me, has been involved in a lot of direct marketing businesses in the past, including his own. And he's witnessed the same kind of performance that I've witnessed, which is the companies tend to skew their compensation plan toward themselves. In fact, my best friend, one of my best friends in the whole world, Casey, he started two MLM companies. He co-founded two MLM companies, and he was just driven out of the industry because his partners were constantly tweaking the comp plan to benefit the company. And that is one thing that I know Justin is not going to do. And the reason I know this is because his original company where this happened, it was very successful. And I'm also telling you this because some people are going to do a little bit of research and they're going to learn some things that I want them to have the truth about Justin. So Justin had a previous company, and it was a beautiful thing. It was absolutely magnificent piece of business. And the reason that business did not succeed beyond that level that he had achieved, which was a very high level, and it went on for many years, several years, is that his entire revenue was dependent on merchant accounts. Now, I don't know if any of you are merchants. I imagine you are. But I remember about 15 or 17 years ago, I was doing a product launch, and I was using a company called Entreport out of Santa Barbara. Don't ever use them. And they were handling my merchant services. And the day before the product launch was a Friday, and I launched the product, and they, for reasons I won't go into, they discontinued my ability to receive money. They cut me off at the knees. And that's what happened to Justin. And so what did he do then over the next few years as he started putting the pieces together for this company? Well, two things. Number one, he got merchant services, and number two, he got crypto. Now, if the banks pull his ability to receive Visa and MasterCard swipes, he's still got crypto. So the way he's got this set up now is bulletproof, I believe. And that this is, for some of you, this may not be important, but trust me, it is probably one of the most important components of the way Justin rebuilt this business. And I know that from personal experience, and I wanted to express that because I've experienced it myself, and it just about put me out of business. All right. Somehow we were able to survive, but it wasn't easy. It was a very, very traumatic time. But anyway, so why do I believe that this particular business is the one that I want to be involved in, even though it is direct marketing? Well, a number of reasons. I was listening to or watching one of Antoine's presentations the other day, and he was talking about how pretty much every company in the world right now has an affiliate program. I mean, whether it's Walmart or Delta Airlines, all of the airlines, Costco, every company has an affiliate program. That is kind of the way the new world order is working. That is the way marketing is taking place. All right. So that was a big factor for me. Affiliate products and programs are a dime a dozen, right? All the companies are doing them. Why not be involved in one? Now, why this particular one? Well, I'll tell you why. As I said, most multi-level marketing companies are promoting cutting-edge products, skincare products, nutritional products, those kinds of things. And you really have to do a lot of convincing to get people to understand the value of these products to them, and that they would want to do an auto ship so that they can fill up their garage with products that they'll never use and then have to, pawn off on their neighbors. All right. So I wasn't interested in that, but I've always been interested in their products. Right. Well, this is different because you don't have to educate anybody on metals. You don't have to do a hard sell to convince anyone that owning gold and silver is a good thing. And that is evidenced by, another thing, a little tidbit that I got from Antoine's recent presentation was that Costco and Walmart recently started selling gold and silver. And I don't know if it was the first month or the first week, but they sold out $100 million worth. So all of your neighbors, I guarantee you, all of your neighbors have a little stack or a big stack of gold and silver because they're preparing for when they need that gold and silver, because gold and silver is the only currency that has never gone to zero. Every other fiat currency has gone to zero. Every currency not backed by gold and silver has gone to zero. And the US dollar, if you look at a chart, is at its lowest value in the history of the US dollar. And it also will go to zero. I don't know if it'll happen in the next year or two, but I do know that it's going to zero. And that is evidenced by the facts, if you just have to look at the facts. Okay, so once you tell someone, once you announce on your Facebook page or your Instagram or whatever social media you use, that you have found a way to buy gold and silver at cost, not at cost plus the dealer's markup, but at cost. This was another deciding factor for me. If I can tell people that I'm buying metals at cost, and I personally, look, a lot of people like the commemorative coins. That's never been any interest to me. I like the raw bullion. I like buying gold and silver bars, okay? And that's how I have stacked gold and silver. And for those of you who know my little story about gold and silver that saved my ass once, I had a government agency that came knocking on my door one day and they wanted a big pile of money and I didn't have the liquidity. But I did have a safe full of gold and silver. And over the next 2 days, I drove around Austin to all of the pawn shops because none of them could buy all of it. And I was able to convert at a very good price all of my gold and silver, or most of it, and then give it to this government agency and get them off my back. Had I not had that gold and silver, I don't know where I'd be right now, but it might not be right here. Okay. Now, why is that important? That's important because we tend to, at least people like me, I don't save. All right. I don't save dollars. I save crypto, I save gold and silver, but I don't save dollars. I don't save money. I don't have a savings account. All right. It's a way to force yourself to save, a really nice, clean way. Because you can't take a gold or silver bar out in town and go to the Chinese buffet. Okay. You can't do that. So you're kind of forced to ignore it and go find the cash somewhere else. So you go to the ATM machine, you get your cash, and you go to the Chinese buffet, all right, or wherever you're going. So it's a really, really cool way to force yourself to save. Now, what Gary's going to go over next is, all of the beauty of stacking gold and silver should be pretty common knowledge to everybody. But I did want to go through that and give you the reasons why I am interested in this particular business and in gold and silver. And if you do end up filling a garage full of gold and silver, that's going to be a good thing, not a bad thing, okay? Like all those bottles and water filters that I've been dragging around for the last 35 years, okay? So, Gary, if you would like to come on next, what I'd like for you to do, because you made me make a vulgar statement to my gang, and but those were your words, You said that we would have some sort of a conniption once we understand how this works. And let me just say one more thing. The people that we're talking to today are people who want to build a business with me and Gary, Antoine and Justin, all right? Because this is what Gary's going to show you right now. He's going to show you how to make money in this business and why you are going to be able to do it. Once you grasp the nuances of this compensation plan, the light bulb is going to go off. And if the light bulb doesn't go off, I want you to contact me and say, Scott, I love your presentation, but the light bulb didn't go off. Can you go over these, things again? And then we will do a follow-up for those people who didn't get the light bulb going off, okay? But Gary, if you would kindly take the stage, I'm going to mute myself and start going through the comp plan and how every single person, this is what I want you to do. I want you to demonstrate how every single person on this Zoom right now is going to be able to earn anywhere from $2,000 a week to $30,000 a week. And I want it to be realistic. I don't want it to be any hype. I don't want it to be fluff. I want it to be real hardcore stuff because I want everybody here to be side by side with me because I know I'm going to $30,000 a week. Can you do that for me?
Absolutely.
All right. Get on.
Good morning, or whatever it is over there on the right coast. Good afternoon. Happy New Year, everybody. See, it's packed out, which I assumed it would be. I'm ready to beam me up, Scotty, so we're going to blow everybody's doors off here. And when they understand what I kind of told you, by the way, I said, is Scott really saying my superlatives, the little comment I made there? Is he actually putting that on the Zoom? And then I said, I like it because it's true. So we are going to have you pretty excited once you grasp what my part is. What we're going to do, I think it's important to start with a little bit of a story. About 13 years ago, I got involved in this industry. I came from the insurance, investment, estate planning, living trust, that kind of company from before, sold insurance, annuities, all that, and financial planning, had all the different licenses and so forth. And I finally got into, because of the timing of the 2008 market crash, which you know a lot about, Scott, I ended up joining a company. You may have remembered it if you go way back like me, called Local AdLink. It was a company that was selling Google advertising out of Vegas, and they had a binary comp plan. And when I went there, I had a lot of success in the insurance business, but I really didn't know anything about MLM other than it's the same thing as we're doing. We're recruiting people, you override them, and you can recruit somebody and they don't need a license. So I was excited about it, but I didn't understand the binary part. So they went over the binary part at this presentation in Las Vegas, and I have to tell you, I was a little bit lost. So I said to the two main guys that were there, I grabbed them off to the side and I said, I need you to take me into that room over there, and I need to come out with a PhD in binaries, because I have to get this down, because if it's what I think it is, it's going to be super easy to build a large income quickly. And they didn't want to do it at first, and I finally made them do it. So shortly thereafter, I wrote a couple books. I'm trying to find them, Scott, they're ebooks. But basically, I'm going to tell you the concept of why a binary is so excited. When my buddy Al first called me about this, I said, finally, a real, not just a real deal with a real products and so forth. But I said, please tell me it's a binary. Tell me it's going to be a binary comp plan. And he said, it is. And then I really got excited, because I obviously understand how these work. So let me just suffice to say, not only can you make $30,000 a week yourself from one position, but I'm going to show you a little bit on how to get multiple positions with family members and things like that. You can actually get multiple $30,000 a week positions if you do it right. I'm going to draw some pictures for you and so forth. So let me share my screen a little bit. I think it's important to understand. Let me see it. I think this one here will do it. Make a little comment in the chat that you can see the screen okay.
Okay, we can see it. We're
Okay.
good. Carry on.
So let's talk about the basics of the comp plan, and then I'll end up with the binary. There's basically three programs, three packages. There's $149, $399, and then the $75 a month auto ship, if you call it, which is how the company really makes the money to run the business. What I'm going to do is focus on the binary part, but I think it's important to understand these other parts, because you can make money not just with the binary. Of course, that's the big money, but you can also make money by just recruiting people. So for example, if a person joins at the 149, they don't want to build a big team. You're going to make $25 by recruiting them direct. And here's the key, 30 points go into binary. So we'll talk about that in a second. $399 package is what I call the builder's package. I'm pretty much just telling people about that one, because they get 3 coins as well. Plus with the $399, it's an 18-month membership, not a 12-month membership like the 149, and then $75 a month. But here's the key. The $399 package comes with 100 points for the binary. The $75 a month auto ship, if you will, comes with 20 points. We also get points in the binary for specialty rare bullion purchases. And then binary team cycles, which is what we're going to focus on the most here today, is once you have 500 points from an aggregate of many different types of ways you can earn the points, 500 on the left, 500 on the right, and it pays you a $500 cycle. Now, a lot of people don't believe they can make $30,000 a week, because that's hype. We've heard that before. Just the very big recruiters make that. I'm going to show all of you in a minute here how all of you can just really position yourself to get lucky in spite of yourself, in spite of your ability to recruit, to make $30,000 a week. And I'm going to do that by telling the rest of the story from what I learned about binaries. I got going after I learned how the binaries work. I went to town recruiting, and I was making about, they were paying weekly at the time, and I was making about, I don't know, $600 or so a week. And in 1 week, it went to $6,000. And I called up the master distributor, who was a buddy, and I said, I have to be honest with you, they overpaid me. I don't want to give it back and have them pay. He said, no. You've got somebody on the right side of your binary that's going to town, Gary. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, remember how the binary works? And I said, oh, geez. So this was a person that was 13 levels down from me on my right side. So what that taught me is you can just kind of, I'm not going to say get lucky, but you can get smart and position yourself early. That's why we tried so hard to get everybody to take a position for $25 quickly, because the biggest people in the company haven't even been recruited yet. Hardly anybody knows about this. They kind of know, but they said, tell me when it launches. I'll pay more attention. There's going to be monster players come. And write this one down. All you really need to do to make $30,000 a week, folks, is have one recruiter on your right side team and one recruiter on your left side team, and you can be finished. I'm going to explain that in a second. Now, to get to the status to make the 30,000, we're going to cover that. You need to recruit some left and right, but I'm just telling you, all you really need is one recruiter on the right side of your team, and he may be 150 levels down and he's not here yet, or she, and one on your left, same situation. You might not even know who they are. You probably won't. But if you do that and they go to work doing what we know how to do, Scott, and that's recruit, you're just going to watch the checks come in. It's pretty frickin' amazing, if I may say so. So here's kind of how you get the points, like we just covered. Okay, the ranks. This is important. There's 3 different ranks. An affiliate, which is the first rank, all you need is 1 and 1. One recruited personally by you that's on your right team, one that's personally recruited by you on your left team, and now you're what's called an affiliate. And we're going to take lots of questions. And you can make a maximum of $2,000 a week in the binary, plus the other ways you make money by recruiting and so forth. Now, the silver affiliate, you need 3 and 3, 3 on the left and 3 on the right. Okay, when Scott first started, and we go, way, way back, I told him, I said, you might not understand all this yet, but just do what I'm telling you to do, and you'll see later. And I said, you need personally sponsored 6 people on your left and 6 people on your right, and then call me back and we'll talk. So he did that in about an hour. He called me back, and I explained a little bit about what you're going to see. So the key here, now, you might not be able to think this big yet, but if you get 6 on your left and 6 on your right that stay on auto ship, that stay active, that's when you can make the $30,000 a week. And I know some of you are thinking, well, I've never been lucky. Here you can be, I'd rather be lucky than smart. So I'm telling you, if you get positioned early and you use the same pitch, if you will, to all the people that you're going to, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I talked to a person, he goes, has that thing launched yet? And I said, thank goodness, no, because you can still get in and hold a spot in the binary for $25. And he goes, well, let me know, get a hold of me Friday and I'll probably do it. I said, why don't you just not do it at all? He goes, excuse me. I said, well, first of all, we don't need you to do it. But if you wait till Friday, there's going to be 200 people above you that could have been below you that you override. He goes, how does that work? And I said, well, everybody that I'm recruiting, I'm putting them right down one side. First person, next person, next person, next person. And I put Scott at the very top. So every person that I bring and every person that all of those people bring are all on Scott's right side. So Scott's kind of done. He doesn't need to build 2 sides of the binary. I'm going to build one for him. All he has to do is focus on his other side. So that'll come back in a minute. So everybody got this? 1 on each side is an affiliate, $2,000 a week binary maximum pay. Silver, 3 and 3, 3 on the left, 3 on the right. Now you might have to recruit 8 or 9 on each side that actually end up upgrading to the 149 or probably the 399 package. And then they get on the auto ship and they stay on the auto ship to get that coin every month. They have to be actively on the auto ship for them to count for one of your people left and right, whether it be 1 each for the affiliate, 3 each for the silver, or 6 each for the gold. So I would just, I'm just telling you what I would do if I were you. I'd try to get 5 or at least 10 on both sides and then work your weak side. And we'll explain that in a second. Because
Gary, can I just jump in here real quick?
Yes.
The cool thing about it being the auto ship, you're getting silver coins, is you're not getting a bottle of stuff that you're stuck with. If ever you have an emergency of any kind, you just want to convert those silver coins into dollars. You pick them up, you take them downtown to a coin shop, and you're done. He'll give you cash for them like that. So you can always liquidate your gold and silver.
It's the perfect business model, everybody. Now, I've got a little, what do you call it, the GIF, that little funny things that I do a lot of, because I'm on the computer a lot, and rather than type out something, I'll just put a thumbs up or something. And I have one that's called bullshit detector, okay? And every time I hear a pitch from one of these deals, my bullshit detector goes off, and it goes way to the right side, like a Geiger counter. Well, with this business, folks, the number one thing that people need to hear, besides what you're going to learn about binaries, is that there's no bullshit detector going off. Excuse my French or whatever if that offends you, but that's just kind of how it is what it is. Okay. So with this business, you're getting real gold and real silver. There is no possibility of a rug pull. Now you might have, you can't just, buy a bunch of stuff and let it make money for you. You've got to actually work a little bit, but not very much. If you work really hard at the beginning, your check could go from 600 to 6,000 in a week like mine did. And I'm not going to tell you when I went to 2 weeks after that, but it was like crazy money. We were already driving to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, looking for vacation homes. It was that much that fast. It just went absolutely nuts because of a person I didn't even know who they were. And of course, I did get a hold of him, bought him a few dinners, right? And was very happy with him. We're still good friends to today. In fact, he's in this deal. So that's kind of how you get points in terms of how much you can make a week in the binary. That's how many people you need to recruit, okay? 1 and 1, 3 and 3, or 6 and 6. Now, if you have a question about that, write it down. Let's take those at the end. So here's the second big question I asked. Okay, it's gold and silver. Do they know what they're doing? Can they handle the volume? Do they have backup merchant accounts because they're going to take Visa and MasterCard? By the way, if you tell a person that's in the business that they only take crypto, that stalls a lot of people because a lot of people don't understand how to do all that, and it slows you down. You don't want to slow down in a binary. You want to work as fast as you can. So what ends up happening is when you have a company that offers credit cards and hopefully backup merchant processors, the credit cards add a dimension of credibility to the deal. They go, well, Visa and MasterCard aren't going to let some scam company do all this with a merchant account. They got to check the owners out and all that. So there's a little recruiting tip for you that if they take credit cards, it's a huge, huge deal. Huge deal. Now, because we take both, it's like off the charts exciting. So, but here's the second question. I said, so let me ask you this. Do the points flush in the binary? And the person that I was talking to didn't even know what that meant. I said, in other words, if a cycle goes by and I get paid $6,000 and there's still points left over on the other side, do those stay there till I can offset them with more points on my pay side? And he said, yes. But then I went crazy because there's a lot of binaries, about half of them, that flush the points after you end up cycling and getting paid. You have to start all over on both sides. With this company, they do not flush the points. They stay in the binary. And as long as you stay active on the $75 auto ship, you're good to go. Okay? So right there, unused points remain intact. They do not reset after a cycle. That's what that means. Big, big deal. Okay? So let's go to this slide and then we'll get right into the binary stuff. So we're launching because we know there's a better way to do precious metals. And people say, well, if they're really selling it at cost, how do they make any money? You're about to see it's because of the comp plan and that $75 coin of the month auto ship that you get. That's how they're making the money. And in a binary, there's breakage that the company makes a lot of money. So remember, in a partnership with us and the company, we want them to make a lot of money too. But you can, if you just think about it, how can they make money if they're really selling it at cost and not marking it up, even the shipping? They're giving you at cost shipping. So the way they're doing that, and it's exciting, is with that $75 a month auto ship, plus the breakage, plus the part of the $399, the $149, and the $75 a month. Those go towards company profits, and they don't pay all that out because in a binary you need points on the left, 500, points on the right. Well, what happens if people don't end up getting one side built and nothing on the other? You don't get paid a dime until you learn what I'm about to show you, and then you can get really excited. So fortunately, some of you that are on our team, you listen and you kind of know about a binary. You got to work and you went to town like crazy at the beginning early, and you're going to be very, very happy soon. So that's kind of how that works. I'm not going to go over all that. So let's go to this now, and let's do some drawing. It's called...
Are you going to draw circles?
Auto draw. Here we go.
Are you going to draw circles?
We're gonna draw circles back to
my
the early days again. Yes, we are. So I'm going to keep this really simple, but we're going to take a lot of questions because herein lies the secret that I learned in Las Vegas. And I'm going to cut to the chase and just get right to it with you. But let's say there's a person here that recruits me. I'll use me as an example, and that's called my upline sponsor. That's the person that might not necessarily be above me, but they're the person that recruited me. So we're going to say that this person recruited me, and I'm over here. This is Gary, and they're doing their own thing. Each spot or position works independently of regardless of who's above or below you. So what I'm going to show you about the actual binary part is the same for every spot that you have. So when a person starts, let's just back up and let's going to move this spot to the very top so you can just for terms of being able to see it easier. So this is Gary. Okay. So remember what I said about how to get positioned to where you can have multiple spots later. What I do always in a binary is I immediately recruit either the spouse or one of the kids on the left and the right, and then I control those positions. This is called a tri-pack, 3 positions, a tri-pack. Now, let's say, for example, at the level I'm at in the binaries, I don't work in a binary unless the person at least attempts to build one side for me, okay? Because I've done too many binaries where I had to build both. Another cool thing about this company is they've kind of fixed that very thing by saying, if you really want to make the big money, you've got to have 6 on the left and 6 on the right, and you really never know who's going to do it, and you really don't know who they're going to run into that does it later. So by them making you put both on both sides, it kind of evens out the binary for everybody. Okay, so this is me, and let's just say I'm going to be focused on my right side. So I put my one of my adult kids in here, and by the way, they're in the deal, right? They always are. And then right here, I'm just going to use this as a real life example. This is Scott, the first person that I called. Okay, so Scott now is going to be getting all the benefit of me and every single person that I recruit, and the people they recruit, and the people they recruit, and the people they recruit underneath him, because I'm going to put everybody on my right side. I'm going to keep this really simple, but once you get this, it's going to knock you off your chair. So here's Scott, and Scott's going to do his thing, right? He's going to be building people. He's going to do this left and right. He'll probably do, well, he already has, 6 left and 6 right and so forth. So he runs into a person right here, say it's Satoshi Girl, whoever. He's got a lot of great recruiters on his team. And so now Scott's getting the volume from Gary coming down here, and he's focused on his, what in this case would be called an inside leg. Okay, so I'm going to build one side for him. Now remember, Scott didn't even blink an eye when I told him he needs 6 left and 6 right. He just did it, because now there's going to be 6 more underneath here, right? And there's going to be at least 6 here. And then at that point, we're going to focus on his inside leg. So Scott's going to go crazy recruiting and I'm just using this as an example, on his left. So this person's going to do their thing, right? They're going to get 2 to at least get qualified. This person's going to get 2, but watch this, what happens. This person right here goes crazy. They start recruiting all kinds of people. And right here, they get a big recruiter. Who's benefiting from this? Well, Scott's benefiting from it from his left side, because even though they're 15 people away and he doesn't know who they are, and they're from a person who's another person who knew another person who quit, but before they quit, they recruited 3 people, and this person shows up right here. This person, all this volume counts towards Scott's left side. Okay, and what else does it count for? Gary's right side. See that? Because Scott and everything that happens from Scott is on my right side. So far, so good. Don't ask questions yet. Write them down. There's going to be some great questions. But now people are starting to say, no, wait a minute. What if I put a person here and I put another person here, and then Scott ends up getting another direct here because he's working his left or inside leg, and this person recruits one person who recruits another Scott Morris. And they don't care about anything that you've seen here on the drawing. All they care about is what? There's 6 left, there's 6 right, and they go crazy. Now, when that goes nuts, who benefits now? All these people are going to get the benefit of this recruiter, this big guy's volume. So the right side of this person's going to have the volume from them. The right side of this person's going to have volume. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And Scott's left side is going to get all the volume as well. So Scott's left side is going crazy, but he's got Gary up here building his right side. Whenever there's 500 points from any combination, there's a $500 paycheck, folks. Now, let me bring my calculator over here. You guys see that calculator?
Yeah.
Let's just say, for example, there's points on, in this case, say on the right side, I go crazy. And Scott, I don't know if you've looked, but there's a whole bunch of people under your right side. I don't know if it's right or left, but there's a whole bunch of people I put in there already. So let's say, for example, down the road, there's some 399s, there's some 149s, but everybody's got to get active and stay active with the what? Coin of the month, $75 auto ship. So that auto ship carries 20 points. So let's do the calculator. Say we're going to be very, very conservative, and I'm going to say this won't sound like I'm conservative, but I am. I'm going to say there's 1,500 people, right, on Scott's inside leg, because we're going to say that Scott's inside leg is his pay leg. It's not as big as the one I'm building on his right. Okay, just for example. Now there's 1,500 people that recruiting kind of stops. There's no more 399s. That'll never happen. But there's no more 399s. There's no more 149s. All there is the coin of the month, and there's 1,500 people doing that. Times 20 points is 30,000 points on Scott's what we just named pay leg. All from auto ship, all from them getting the coin of the month to stay in business with us. Herein lies the genius of the binary. Divided by 500 points on each side to get a paycheck, divided by 500 is how many cycles? 60 cycles times $500. That paycheck alone is $30,000, folks.
Holy smokes.
Anybody starting to get a little excited? Now, what I'm trying to tell you is this can happen without even any recruiting at a certain position. That people just want the coin. They go, I don't know if you can see this, but I have all kinds of numismatic coins from the past that I've, got. And every week what I'd actually do is I'd buy more. I'd take 10% of my commissions and buy more silver with it. And they'd ship it to my house at the same time. So all of a sudden, in this example, Scott just has to do some building at the beginning and doesn't even have to continue. Just needs to make sure everybody stays on auto ship, and he's done. Now that's just one position. I don't know. Can you guys do the math on that's times 4 weeks? That's 120,000 a month. Some of you have never made 120,000 in a year. I used to be one of them when I first started. So do you understand that if you get involved early in a binary and you go crazy recruiting with help, get Scott's help, get my help, get the tools we're showing you guys how to use, and just expose people. It's gold and silver. Nobody doesn't want it. Everybody wants it already. You don't even have to hard close them.
And that's the key. Like you said, nobody doesn't want it.
Exactly. I've never seen anything like this. That's why I'm out of my mind excited, and I went nuts recruiting. So let's back this up, and let's just kind of do one other example. So if you join, and you're really lucky because the majority of this Zoom is Scott's team, you have one of the best recruiters, folks, in the industry that's going to be building one of your sites. Half the work is done. You don't even need to do it. All you need to do is get 6 over there that he's building. It might take you 3 months to get 6 and 6. Start with 1 and 1 and just get $2,000 a week. $2,000 a week is $8,000 a month. That's like $100,000 a year, folks, with Scott building one of your 2 sites for you. And he's not going to stop. Now, here's the key, though. Here's what I don't think some of you really understand. So here's Scott say, or here's my kid, right? Because I'm going to show you why I'm going to capture these positions for later. I'm going to sell these for hundreds of thousands of dollars later. And folks, I've actually done it. Because when you do a binary, here's Scott, remember?
You didn't tell me about this.
That's because I wanted to wait for the Zoom. Anyway, There's going to be some thunder for you. So this position right here, this is one of my one of my daughters. She's got a spot right there. Now, she has no idea. She's on auto ship. She's going to buy I'm going to buy it for her, $3.99, but it's her spot, right? And her login and her email and all that stuff. So down the road, this thing goes to town, and this is not going to take very long for Scott and many of you to be making $30,000 a week if you do it right. So all of a sudden, there's going to be, and I know this sounds a lot, but it's not. I'm going to say there's 4,000 people down here because of people's people. They went to the left, they went to the right, they spotted off here. There's a person that did too, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, there's 4,000 people on auto ship for $75 a month. Now, all of a sudden, this position, this is one of my daughters, name is Allison. She's got all this volume on her right side. What did she do? She gave me her email address. I did it for her. Here's why I did it for her. Down the road, could take a month, could take a year, it doesn't matter. But this spot is going to be pretty valuable for a big recruiter to entice them to come into your business because now you can say, I've got a spot, I can sell it to you. That's got 4,000 people on one side, all on auto ship. You interested? You want to chat? I've had people actually one guy gave me $250,000, wrote me a check, folks, for one of these binary deals at this position. I sold it to him. Ding, 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 things starting to go, right? Or you could max out this spot. Now listen carefully. Scott could max out his $30,000 a week, right? And now this position, well, let's just take me, for example. Say I'm at $30,000 a week, but I kind of control this position because it's my daughter's, right? So I'm going to say, give me that login again, because now if this has 4,000 people on one side, 4,000 points, in other words, all 4,000 people getting a coin of the month shipped right to their house. All of a sudden, if Gary starts to go to town, if I start to recruit to this side, which I'm going to have control, all of a sudden I can recruit a person, put him here, and now I'm going to cycle with this position, $500, and this position, $500. Folks, I've structured these in the past to where I would put one person in. Now it took 6 or 8 months to get here, but I recruited one person way, way down the food chain, and I cycled 5 times with one recruit. There was another time I sponsored a person I cycled 12 times because it was all on my pay leg down here. You're starting to get the little drift here, everybody, on what you can do. Now that's a little bit advanced, but I'm going to show you how to just not have to understand that completely, but get ready for it by recruiting and capturing multiple positions early with what we call the tri-pack. Now, do you have to do that? Of course not. Do you have to do any of this? No, you can just do the $149 and buy silver at cost for a year. I'd still recommend doing the $399 because you get 3 coins and it goes for 18 months, not for 12 months. Everybody with me so far? So there's a little binary strategy placement for you. Now, here's one other thing. Just take this back. I do what's called a tri-pack. I get a daughter here and a daughter there, right? What if I put a son here? Now, I'm trying to find out the answer to this, but what if you could, because it's a binary and there has to be KYC eventually, what if I put one of my LLCs right here? I'm trying to find out, and it's a legal, it's real. I didn't make it up or something. So what if I put an LLC here, and I put a daughter here, and I put a son here? I'm trying to find that out. I don't know if that's legal. We're not going to do it if it's not legal. But all of a sudden now I control 1, 2, 3 spots on this side. And all of a sudden this goes to town because this is the one where my upline is going to be putting everybody down my left side, right? And I love them to death for doing that because now all Gary has to do is get a guy over here like Scott, and I'm retired. I'm not joking, folks. I'm not kidding when I just said I'm retired. I don't know how much you need, but if $30,000 a week doesn't do it, get multiple spots. Okay. So I can tell, I just feel it that I'm getting Scott's real attention now because I don't think he knew all of this.
Well, I didn't know all this. I knew enough to.
You know enough to listen, right?
Yeah, but since you brought up I think you should probably do the $399 bit. Let me give you an incentive for doing the $399. So the reason I invited Angelica to join us.
Just another 2 minutes. I want to make sure I hammer.
Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this up for your part, and then I'll bring Justin on.
You might put Angelica's contact telegram information in the chat. That way people can find her. She's great, by the way. I have a couple people that have used her, and she's awesome. So
thanks, Gary.
Let's wrap up with the point about how I really want to drive this home about the points don't flush. So let's say, for example, we've got our calculator here, and a week goes by, and everybody's working. They're excited. They're getting gold and silver, and they're taking these coins around with them. What I would do, and I still do, is I take these with me in my pockets. And when I'm out and about, people ask me what I do, and I go, I get these for free for people. And I mean, there's all kinds of, I should do a class on marketing and approaching people, but it's really simple to recruit to this deal because it's gold and silver. But let's say 1 week goes by, and there's 5,000 points generated from a myriad of different things on my right side, and a myriad of things like the $3.99, the auto ship everybody's on, the 20 points for that, the 30 points for the 149, all the ways you get points, 7,000 on my left. So now it's payday. So you get paid on your weaker leg. So if I got paid on 5,000 points, right? Divided by, everybody, I want to make sure you're following me here, divided by 500, because you need 500 points on both sides to get a $500 cycle bonus paycheck. That is 10 cycles times $500. And that is a paycheck for me for $5,000 for that week for that position. So 5,000 points are gone here. And also 5,000 points are gone here because you have to have 500 on each side, remember? Sorry, it's hard to draw with this mouse thing. So now I have what? 2,000 points left on my left that are going to stay there until I offset them with the right side points. Now, a lot of you are saying, I've never seen a binary that worked like that. About half the ones out there don't flush these points. So now, do I have any incentive to get anything going on the right? Because I got $2,000 worth of paycheck possibilities. Let's divide that by 500. That's $2,000, right? So I just want to make sure everybody understood the points don't flush in this binary comp plan. So I hope that gave you a little insight. And whenever you want, Scott, we can answer questions or whatever. But
okay, I wanted to
back to you.
I wanted to introduce Justin Davis next because he's busy trying to get this thing launched. I really appreciate his time coming in here to say hi to our group. So Justin, if you are there, you could unmute yourself. Jazz will highlight you. And are there any words of wisdom that you can add to what Gary's given us so far? Jazz, can you highlight our friend Justin?
There we go.
There you are.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Justin. Really appreciate it. I know you're busy over there getting the launch ready, but everybody wanted to hear from you, and when you agreed to come on and carve out some time for us, we just said, "Hell, let's do it."
Let's do it. Yep, good to see you again. Good to see everybody on the call, guys. We've got some so much that we've accomplished, and a little bit more to do. We are right there at the finish line. People, I can tell we're starting to get a little bit antsy. So I asked the team to display some of the products that we'll be selling and the price point. So it's so fresh. I think midnight last night is about the time it went up, and we are just about to send out an email and explain exactly what we're looking at. But the idea is now you just go to the website, scroll through, you can see Silver Eagle, take our price point. You know, what I recommend is literally copy 1 ounce Silver Eagle, go to Google, open up 10 tabs, and just go to different stores, compare them, look at the pricing, and it should be an extremely obvious conclusion of where you should buy metal. And so that's where we're at. This email almost ready to go, install and a few more things, and then make sure everything is buttoned up before we turn it on, and we're off to the races.
Well, Justin, I really appreciate the efforts that you're going to, because my group and we have been involved with a number of very promising companies over the last probably 6 months. Put a lot of effort into getting, really kicked off. And then as soon as the product launched, it collapsed under its own momentum. And so the fact that I know that you are not going to allow that to happen, and any delays that occur, I'm okay with, and everybody's okay with, just simply because you've made that commitment to us. And nothing would be worse for us than if you prematurely launch because you're under pressure from the groups to get it done. Mm-hmm. Just take all the time you need, man, and we appreciate it.
I appreciate you saying that. Absolutely. No, it will have to be 100%. It's the potential for explosive growth right out of the gate is extremely high. So we have to anticipate where we'll be in a month, in 2 months, and potentially even a year. Mm-hmm. Right out of the gate, because I agree. Your time, everybody's time on this call, would be for naught if it didn't launch correctly. So that is paramount. However, we still are getting very close.
Very good. Well, thank you, Justin. I'll let you go now and bring your old buddy Antoine on to say a few words. It's really cool to have all these VIPs on our call with us. We started off, it was just going to be me and Gary, 30 minutes going over the comp plan. Then I get you and I get Antoine. So I'm pretty excited to have all these VIPs on the call with me today.
Yes, sir. Before we Antoine, let me address this question. So, in my mind, I read it, and it is, just means whatever it costs for us as dealers to buy it, that's the price that we sell it for. Okay, so we've got a whole section that is truly at cost. Now, as straightforward as that sounds, there's still a little bit of lingering confusion, and I'll make sure we do a whole video series on this topic. There's spot price, then there's cost, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that is really unnecessary to even talk about. Spot price is an arbitrary amount between the buy and the sell. It's the price that fluctuates. You could think of it as a stock price, but that's the price that moves. Now, every kind of metal has its own spot price. So let's take silver, for example, and then you have different kinds of silver. So 100-ounce bars, 10-ounce bars, kilos, even 1,000-ounce bars, all the way down to, a tenth of an ounce silver, okay, 20th of an ounce. So it all has different price points relative to spot. Typically, the bigger the piece of metal is, the closer to spot you get because it's a lot easier to make it in that form. But then you have to take into consideration the purity and who made it. So if you take a government mint like the Royal Canadian Mint, U.S. Mint, Perth Mint, those have a lot more, people can put a lot more faith and confidence in the quality of that product. So those typically trade at a higher price. But when it comes to Maples, 10-ounce bars, generic rounds, it's at cost. So that's the point of that's just the price used to base all the other prices on. And that's all I've got. So back over to you. Actually, let me introduce Antoine. If you don't mind. Antoine, we've been working together for many years, and we've grown that business relationship into a strong, more familiar and family friendship. So I do consider him my brother and his wife like my sister, and our entire network, half of it is under him, and I couldn't think of a better person. Not that I was trying to find, but Antoine is definitely that guy. So Antoine, I'll hand this call over to you. I appreciate everyone jumping on. And Antoine, if you're there, you can hear.
Well, Jazz is fumbling over there with her mouse to spotlight Antoine. But he'll come on here in just a second. I think he goes by Next Level. And so she's probably looking for Antoine. Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Antoine, thanks so much for joining us, man. I enjoyed meeting you and Justin at dinner just 2 days before Christmas.
Yes.
It was really a pleasure to meet you and your family. So what do you have to say for us? I mean, look, we got all the big heavy hitters on the call here today. It was just supposed to be a casual story about the comp plan, but can you add anything to that for us?
Well, I mean, I want to thank JD for all he's doing for all of us, which is going to allow us to not only make a difference in our own personal worlds through this opportunity, but make a difference in the world. And so we owe a lot of that to JD and the team. So definitely appreciate you, JD. And Gary and Scott, I mean, you guys are leaders, you're pros, you understand what's going on in the space. Gary definitely understands the space. He understands binary. And the way I look at this, at the end of the day, for those who are new, we eat this elephant one bite at a time. If you want to succeed in this compensation plan, just go hit the rank of affiliate. And if you hit the rank of affiliate, then you can do it again. And then you can do it again. And you do it 3 times, you're now silver. If you do it 6 times, well, 12 times, now you're gold. And so it's just teaching others how to eat this elephant one bite at a time. Focus on affiliate, and it will begin to grow and take a life of its own. But we are in that infancy stage where it takes leaders with vision to help people with dreams. And so you've got some incredible leaders who are just paving the way right now for you to just say, you know what, I'm in. I don't understand everything. I'm going to trust the people that I'm plugged into, and I'm just going to hold on to their coattail. I'm going to follow and do what they tell me to do. If you just do what they're telling you to do, you will see what will happen over time, and you'll begin to understand more and more and more. And then you find some other people that want to do the exact same thing. We just duplicate this process over and over again and watch what happens to your life and the people that you surround yourself with. Everyone's life will change because of this incredible opportunity with a compensation plan with no gotchas. There's no gotchas here. None. No gotchas. They want to pay it out to people who deserve to earn it. So let's go earn it. Thank you so much, Scott. Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you, Antoine. I really, really appreciate those final words. In fact, it was the thing that really turned me when I watched that video. I believe you sent it to me, Antoine, the video of Justin's father doing that keynote presentation, that speech. I watched that, and it really moved me, and it really solidified the belief that one needs to have in a business. And I want to share that with everybody in my group. I wasn't sure if I would be able to because he talks. It was a different company then. But the lessons learned in that company, the lessons that Justin learned from his father and the things that his father said about him and what his vision was. And those were the things that really made me look at this business in a different way and in the way that you just described it. It really, really, and I don't usually talk like this, but that was a very emotional moment
Yes.
in connecting with Justin on a very, very personal level. And we had a really nice chat in Dallas, but that video did it for me. And I think it'll really move people who watch it, because one of the things that I got from that is Justin's vision to, and I'm repeating myself because I did go through this in the beginning, but it's worth saying again. Every comp plan that he looked at in the past was skewed toward the company, and the company is constantly changing the comp plan to skew it toward itself, whereas Justin has skewed this comp plan toward us. And that is monumental in this industry. It is absolutely monumental in this industry, and one of the main reasons why I'm involved, because once you understand where JD's coming from, once you see the team that he's put in place to help him, once you now understand the comp plan, and it may take a little bit to digest all that, but it's really, really simple. Once you understand that you can make the kind of money that Gary was just talking about, once you believe it, all right, this is the product, this is the team, this is the company. And I don't think that there's anything more to be said. I think it's time to wrap it up. Gary, unless you have something further to say, I think we're done.
I think we're good, buddy.
All right. Justin, any last final thoughts since you're still with us?
Don't forget to go look at the website at the bottom, scroll down past the videos. You can see our pricing. Feel free to share it with the world.
That's a beautiful thing, man. When you can say at cost and you mean at cost, nobody outdoes it. Nobody else would sell it at cost because they wouldn't make a profit. But when you join this club, this exclusive club, just like you join the club at Costco, right? It's no different than paying a membership at Costco. It gives you the rights, the freedom to buy as much volume, as much gold and silver at cost that you want. There are no limits. Are there limits?
Only what you put on yourself.
No limits. All right, folks, thank you very much for joining us today. We're going to wrap it up and say goodbye. If you have any questions, you know how to contact me. I'll see you guys later. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.